certified natural medical practitioner, a gerontologist, a nutritionist, and health educator here, based in London, in the UK. And today's topic is presbyopia. It's about our eyes, our ability, the ability of the eye to focus on things that we see very near or the things that we see far. But when we lose the ability to see things that are very near us, and then we have to really put it away like arm length to be able to see that, then of course we call that condition a presbyopia. This is what we're going to talk about. Under this topic here, I would want you to understand actually the eye, a little bit of the simple structure of the eye, a little bit of that here. We'll look at the symptoms of presbyopia, and we'll look at the causes and the risk factors. When you talk about risk factors, it means that who actually gets presbyopia. There are certain things that we do, or there could be some medical health issues that underlying health problems that may be causing it, especially if it starts a lot earlier. Now, what is it here? Let's look at our eye itself. The eye. The eyes, our eyes might be small, but the eyes provide us with what many people consider to be the most important of our senses. Now, your eyes are at work from the moment you wake up to the moment you close them to go to sleep or to go to bed. Right. Our eyes take in tons of information about the world around you, shapes, colors, movement, and more. And this information, of course, is sent to your brain for your brain to process, for you to be able to see that. Now, if you look at the eyes, if you look into the mirror, the white part of the eye is called a sclera. Now, you think of a sclera as the eyeball outer coat, is the coat here. And if you look at it closely, you will see tiny pink threads. That is the blood vessels. Now, these blood vessels, they carry, nutrients, right? They carry oxygen into to your eye to feed the eye. The bottom line here is that every organ in the body needs some supply of blood, sufficient amount of blood with oxygen and nutrients. Okay, so normally you see that diseases of the eye may come about because of insufficient blood flow with the right nutrients for the eye. So we're now talking about this presbyopia. Although it's a natural condition that affects everybody around 40, between 40 and 65. It started around that late 30s, and then it goes on and on until around 65. And in English, we say it levels off. It means that it doesn't really get worse anymore. Right. But the question is that although it is part and parcel of the aging process, we can live a life that is very healthy, that our eyes will not have the real big impact. We can also delay a lot of things, a lot of diseases by 20, 30 years as possible. I'm not talking about presbyopia. I'm talking about diseases in general that maybe affect elderly people. Like, for example, weakening of the bone, problem with the prostate. There's so many things that we can even prevent that will never, never, never come to us. Everything depends on your general lifestyle. Now, when we look at that, we know the sclera is the white part of the eye. Now we look at the cornea. The cornea is a transparent dome. It's sitting right in front of the colored part of the eye. The colored part of the eye is called the iris. So if somebody got blue eyes, it means that the blue iris, right? If somebody got brown eyes, it's called that the brown iris. So the color part of the eye is the iris. Right behind the iris is the lens. is the lens. This lens, like in a camera, that's very, very important to focus. Whatever we see, the light that comes from that object or that things we see will go to the lens. The lens will reflect it on the retina. That's the back of the eye. And this is sent to the brain to process it for us to be able to see. So, you see how things actually work in here. When we are young, this lens is so flexible. It's so, elastic. It's elastic. It's so flexible. It can change the shape. And then when we are looking at something very close, it may change the shape, of course, for us to be able to see things that are really close. And then when we look at anything that's far or further away, it also changes, very, very flexible. So in the childhood, in the teenagehood, in the 20s, and also 30s, in fact, all these, the lens will be doing these things automatically. We don't even recognize that until one day, maybe in the late 30s, about 38, 39, around 40, you tell yourself, these days, the same thing I'm reading, I need maybe a much more light, or I can't read at all. I have to put it away. I have to stretch my arms, like the arm length, before I'll be able to read that. And then you know that presbyopia has set in. I believe now we understand now what is presbyopia. Is the loss of the ability of the eye to see things that are very close. But we can see things that are really far. It's not a problem. But we shouldn't confuse presbyopia with farsightedness. The farsightedness is not a disease. It's something that starts from our childhood, that you see things that are far but not near. So farsightedness is different from presbyopia. And presbyopia is about the lens in the eye. And then farsightedness is not about the lens, it's about the structure of your eye being too maybe short, so you don't. This is different. It's about the eye structure when you talk about farsightedness. And if we talk about presbyopia, it's about the lens. So that's very two different things at all, but they got the same symptoms, farsightedness and then presbyopia. I believe is very, very clear to us now. So now we understand what is called presbyopia. In fact, technically, presbyopia is the loss of the eye's ability to change its focus, to see objects that are near. So the loss of ability of your eye to see things that are near, that is presbyopia. But it's also the same for farsightedness, but it's a different cause. So we got to really not confuse presbyopia with farsightedness. You may be farsighted, you may be wearing glasses to correct that. So now let's come to the symptoms of presbyopia. How would you know that you have presbyopia? Before I put the symptoms on a platform, let me put this number on a platform. Maybe you have presbyopia. If you have presbyopia, of course, these days you can just buy glasses anywhere and then use that to read, okay? But if you have presbyopia, it could mean that as an underlying problem. It's very important to verify what is really going on. Or you may be taking certain drugs that might have caused that. So if you have that naturally and you use the glasses, of course, that is not a problem. But it can get worse with age. That's why it's very important to really get clear eye drop. Now, clear eye drop is so important for the eye. This is a natural eye drop that you just put on the eye, even if you don't have any problem. But if you have burning sensations in the eye, blurry vision, if you have a tearing of, the tears flowing, watery eyes or tired eyes, you use clear eye drop. It's really going to help you. Even if you don't have any problem, just put a drop on each eye, and then before you go to bed, it contains all the nutrients for the eye. And we have to ensure that we have good circulation so that we have a good eyesight. We should do everything we can to have very healthy eyes at a very old age. because the eye is everything that we have. Right. But now let's come to the numbers here. If you call in outside the UK, is +44 738 464 7300. This number again, +44 738 464 7300. Maybe it's not presbyopia. Maybe it's underlying health problems, diabetes or heart problems, kidney problems, hepatitis, arthritis, fertility problems, fibroids, whatever. Just give me a call. There's a number. That is a WhatsApp to just reach out here. People within the UK, of course, listeners, you can also call is 0738 464 7300. 0738 464 7300. You're listening to Dr. James, a certified natural medical practitioner. So the topic here is presbyopia. Let's have a look here at the symptoms of presbyopia. Now, the first symptom here, that the need for more light while reading. So maybe you got a bedside table. You used to use that bedside table to read all right, but suddenly you realize that the same amount of light is not enough. So you need much more light. It's the first symptom here. And then you also have a blurred vision at a normal reading distance. The normal reading distance, you can't read well, you have a blurred vision, and you need the materials that you're reading at arm's length. You have to put it away to be able to read. And if you're trying to do close work, doing more reading very close, you tend to have headaches, right? And then you have an eye strain. And normally you have difficulty reading small prints. So when you go to the supermarket, you may have a problem reading the small prints. So you may have to maybe try to stretch it away, put it away to be able to read that. You may see some people with the bifocal glasses and so on trying to read the small prints. Or you may be squinting, you may squint your eye to be able to see well. So all these are common symptoms of presbyopia. Now remember, as I was saying, that hyperopia or farsightedness, it means that you can see things that are far but not things that are near. It's different from presbyopia. The cause is different, but they got the same symptoms. As I was saying here, it's different thing. But now, let's have a look here at the causes of presbyopia. What could cause presbyopia? Now, when the lens, when we are young, the lens in your eye is flexible and relatively elastic, right? It can change its length or shape with the help of a ring of tiny muscles that surrounds it. It holds it. It surrounds it. So it's very, it's very elastic or very flexible. So when you're young, your arteries are flexible too. You see, that's very important. When we are young, we have flexible arteries. Arteries are the blood vessels which carry blood around. So when you're young, they're flexible, they are broader, so it carries more blood around easily. So all your organ system are happy to get the nutrients and oxygen it needs. So even the arteries are flexible. But with age, they get hardened, they lose flexibility. So, but you can live a life, your lifestyle, your nutrition can be said that you can delay the changes of your arteries losing that flexibility, because the arteries are very important for organ health because they carry the blood. The blood is the life of the flesh. If they don't carry enough blood to these organ system, it becomes a problem. So the point I want to make here is that with age, there is a loss of flexibility of the lens in our eye, and that because of that, the eye loses the ability to read or to focus on things that are near, and you can only see things that are far. That is presbyopia. See, so it is very important for us to ensure that our eyes or other organ system are getting the nutrients they need through good blood circulation. So that's why I always emphasize, how often do you cleanse your body? Have you ever tried to cleanse or clean up your arteries, the blood vessels, which may be getting narrow? How would you know that your blood vessels are not free? Normally, just check yourself. If you have tingling, numbness, your fingers on your feet, or you go by the stairs and you easily feel tired, go by stairs or you're running, you feel tired, but before then you didn't used to feel tired. And if you begin to feel these basic symptoms, it means that your arteries are not free. It could also mean that your heart is not efficient. So for all your organ system to work well and to delay any problem as we all age, we should ensure that we have strong heart that beats efficiently, and we have blood vessels or arteries which will carry our blood around with oxygen and nutrients. It's so important for our eyes and for other organ systems as well. I hope this is very clear. So the cause of it is basically the loss of that flexibility of the lens, that elasticity of the lens, that is caused primarily because of the cell health of the lens. It shouldn't really happen, but unfortunately the lifestyle, the food we eat, we don't have enough nutrients in the food these days. Before even the food gets to the supermarket, then the food might have lost about 50-60% of the nutritional content. So it's really difficult. Even how you boil it or how you prepare it, I should say that how you prepare it, and the combination, and when you eat it, how you eat it, and the under what circumstance, all will help. Will tell if you're gonna get the nutrients that you need for your body. Okay, and if you have a good digestive system, and if you have a healthy liver that will distribute these nutrients, it's so important. Now, so we know the cause now. Let's have a look at the risk factors of presbyopia. Who actually gets presbyopia? Who gets it? Now, most significant risk factor for presbyopia is age. Age, but it doesn't mean that when we are aging, everything is bad. No. All depends on your lifestyle. There are people that they are aging gracefully because they have delayed everything. They have biologically, they are younger, but calendar-wise, they are older, but the biologically, they are 30 years younger. And if you do that, then you wouldn't have any problem at all. So age around 40 is the time that presbyopia may start. You lose the ability to read the small prints, and so people tend to get glasses. But then apart from the age is anemia, iron. If your iron is low, then of course there's a risk for that, because it's about blood flow, isn't it? But then I'm not saying you go for any iron. If you go for natural source, it means food and then certain natural nutrients. B builder is what you need. You can build your blood very quickly to avoid this anemic condition. Cardiovascular disease. If you have heart problems, if your blood vessels are filled with plaques, then the blood is not flowing well, definitely is going to be a problem. It's a risk factor for that. So if you have presbyopia much earlier than the normal age, then you have to know that there must be some medical health conditions. It's not just like that. Diabetes is everywhere. Diabetes is a toxic disease. So constantly it thickens the blood. It contributes to atherosclerosis, it means the plugging of the arteries. So your blood vessel becomes, filled up with plaques. And so blood cannot flow well, especially the tiny arteries supplying blood directly to your eye. These organs, your eyeball, the tissues cannot get enough blood with the nutrients, and the fluid flow becomes also weak. This can lead to any eye disease at all. It can lead to glaucoma, it can lead to cataracts, it can lead to all sort of problems. That's why diabetes, actually people that got diabetes, they have glaucoma and cataracts because of that. Multiple sclerosis, MS, is a chronic disease, a condition involving your central nervous system. You see, multiple sclerosis is about your immune system attacking the myelin sheet on that's the protective layer on the nerves. So it can attack that, and it can affect your spine and your brain. And when this happens, it can be also a risk factor that can lead to presbyopia. Eye trauma or disease is also a risk factor as well. There are some prescription drugs. When you go to hospital, maybe you are given anti-anxiety drugs or antidepressants, antipsychotic drugs, or diuretics. Diuretics, example, blood pressure medication. So if you're on blood pressure medication, a typical diuretic, it can also be a risk factor for presbyopia, maybe early onset of presbyopia. Right. There are other factors like eye surgery. So if the eye surgery is carried out within the eyeball itself, of course, it can be a real risk factor. Unhealthy eating, unhealthy food, definitely you don't get any nutrient from it. So with time, you'll be lacking the nutrients vital or essential for your eyes. And of course, alcohol is something that is a substance that is not good. It depletes your body of essential nutrients for your eye, definitely. So today we've learned a lot about presbyopia. We know that is the eye inability to focus on things that are really near us. That is it here, and it's different from farsightedness, which is a disorder which may start from babyhood. It's very, very different. So we know that the symptoms is very clear. You go to the shop, you need to stretch your arms, just stretch that reading material away, and you need more light to read the same prints, which in the past you didn't need you didn't need to have that much light, and you were able to read. These are some of the ways to be able to recognize that you have presbyopia. Thanks a lot, lovely listeners. I appreciate your companionship on this platform. Thanks a lot for joining me today, and I look forward to having another beautiful time with you next week with a brand new topic. Every Sunday is a brand new topic. Thanks a lot, and may God smile upon you this coming week. God bless you, and goodbye for now.